Lego is expensive. Prices range from 10 euros for a tiny set with 150 parts to 550 euros for this massive Colosseum set with over 9,000 parts. But it's not just Lego that's getting more expensive. Everything is. Rent is going up, groceries will cost you a limb, and you even need to sell your kidney to go to the movies these days. So how do you sustain a hobby like this? Today I'm giving you 6 tips on how to save money on Lego. First of all, there's one obvious thing you can do to save a lot of money, and that is to find a different hobby. But if that's not an option for you, here's some actual tips. The first one would be to only buy second-hand Lego. It's not my favorite, but it can definitely keep a lot of money in your pockets. Look for listings on Facebook Marketplace, go to garage sales, and even Goodwill might have some. There is a downside to second-hand Lego though. A lot of the time, the parts you buy will be dirty, have bite marks on them, or they might even be fake Lego. If you want to avoid that as much as possible, find a local reseller or head over to Bricklink. There are a lot of second-hand Lego sellers that do take great care of their inventory. I usually buy all of my Lego brand new, but most of the parts I need from MOCs I do get from Bricklink. I'll cover more about Bricklink a little further into the video, but for now let's move on to new Lego. Although the Lego store has most of their sets on shelf, they're usually full price and quite expensive. So let's move on to tip number 2. Don't buy your Lego from the Lego store. I know that American stores like Walmart and Target have good deals sometimes, but I'm in the Netherlands and we have different stores with different deals. And the same goes for about 75% of my audience who are from anywhere but the US. So I would advise you to just look for stores around your area and compare them to the official Lego prices. With that being said, you can also look for deals online, of course. Online stores will usually have very competitive prices to physical stores, and you might just be able to find the best deals there. Amazon is a great place to start as they operate all over the globe, but I'm sure there are a lot of good websites to get your Lego for cheap. Brickwatch.net is also a good source to find online Lego deals. I think they scan the internet and show you where to buy sets for the best price. But there are 2 things to consider when buying from stores other than the actual Lego store, and both of them could help you save a ton of money as well. The first one would be the Lego VIP program, or Lego Insiders as it's now called. You must first sign up for a Lego Insiders account, of course, but that's free and very easy to do. Just go to the Lego website, click Sign in the top right, then register, fill out all of your information, and click Create Account. If you have the account, you get a certain amount of points added towards your balance every time you make a purchase at the Lego store or through their website. Usually you'll get 75 points for every 10 euros you spend. There's actually a whole list on the Lego website to see how many points you get with what currency. When you've saved up enough points, you can use those points for a whole bunch of different rewards. There are a bunch of digital downloads. Some very small but pretty cool Lego sets, tickets to the different Legoland parks and discovery centers, collectibles, and lastly, discount on Lego. Like I said, I get 75 points for every 10 euros I spend, and if I collect 750 points, I can exchange them for 5 euros off of my next purchase. That is not a lot, but there are ways to get more points. You can, for example, fill out surveys and quizzes to get free points. It's not much, but free money is always nice. Something a lot of people don't know is that there are QR codes on most of the instruction books that come with sets. With the exception of sets released before 2018 and some smaller sets, your instruction book should have one too. You can scan these QR codes and get 20 extra points added to your account. You will need to download the Lego Builder app. From there you sign into your Lego account, scan the code, click on Earn Points, and go through the process. You can actually try for yourself with this QR code, so the first person to do that, congrats on your 20 points. Now I know 20 points is honestly not that much, but if you haven't thrown out any of your instructions in the past couple of years, it can count up pretty fast. Another way to make the most out of the point system is waiting to buy the Lego set you want until you can get double points on it. And as it so happens, Lego is giving out double points right now. From October 15th until October 20th, you can basically get a 10% cashback on any purchase. These double point events happen a couple of times a year. Usually you'll want to check around March, June, July, and October. And don't forget about Black Friday. there are usually a bunch of discounted sets. But there is one weekend a year you can even get quadruple points on a whole bunch of sets. And that weekend is around Star Wars Day. Star Wars Day is on the 4th of May and will generally cover an entire weekend. But besides double and quadruple points, LEGO has a bunch of other promos throughout the year. Which brings us to my next point, gifts with purchases, or GWPs for short. These are usually smaller LEGO sets that you get for free when spending a certain amount at the LEGO store. This will often only apply to eligible sets, but sometimes you can get lucky and they will count for any purchase. There are multiple kinds of GWPs available at different times. While writing the script for this video, you could get the river camping adventure if you made a purchase of at least 90 euros. But only if those purchases were on LEGO Friends, Animal Crossing, LEGO City, LEGO Dreams, or Ninjago. Now this camping adventure could be fun for kids, or be a nice little addition to a LEGO city that has some sort of campground. But outside of that, I personally wouldn't go out of my way to buy a set specifically for this. I do have some other still sealed GWPs from purchases I've made before though. I think these are actually nice looking sets and could be a great display piece. Now these GWPs are nice and all, but what if you don't really care about these sets? A great way to get some money back is to actually sell them. This Steamboat Willie set was a GWP I got when I bought the Hocus Pocus set. And if I look online, I see it being sold for anywhere between 45 and 75. With the Hocus Pocus set being 230 euros and selling the Steamboat GWP for, let's say, 60 euros, that would mean I get about a 25% cashback from the GWP on top of the 5% cashback from the LEGO Insider points. Now, before we continue, I want to do a quick shout out to all of our YouTube members. We're on our way to 100,000 subscribers and the channel members help support in making more and better videos. If you don't want to sign up as a member, but you still want to support the channel, please consider subscribing. I also have a really cool video planned for when we hit the 100k, so stay tuned for that. And let's try to get that shiny silver play button in before the end of the year. Now, back to the video. This next option might be a bit crazy for some, but it actually makes a lot of sense to me. Think about why you buy the LEGO sets you buy. Are they going to be a display piece in your house? Are you trying to build a LEGO city? Do you just want to use the parts from the sets to build something else? Everyone has their own reason, and whatever that reason is, it's perfectly fine. For me, it's a combination of displaying the sets at my studio or my house, and the LEGO city I'm building. In my city, I have two things I really like to keep in mind. It needs to be relatively realistic, and the minifigures I use need to have the skin tone heads and hands instead of being yellow. With that idea, let's take a look at the Sanctum Sanctorum. I bought this because I loved how the building looks, but it also happens to be a Marvel set with 9 minifigures, and they're all superheroes. Superheroes are not gonna play a part in my city, so what am I gonna do with them? Well, there are 4 minifigures that would still be somewhat usable if you only use their head and hands. Not ideal, but because the minifigures that come with the other modulars have yellow heads and hands, I can just switch those out. That means that I still have 5 figures left that I most likely wouldn't use for anything else. But have you ever thought about just selling those? I personally haven't done it yet, but I have bought individual minifigures before. I mentioned Bricklink earlier, but in case you're not familiar with it, it's kinda like a Facebook marketplace, but only for LEGO. You can buy and sell sets, single parts, instructions, and a bunch of other LEGO related things. I think they have pretty much every single part ever made in their database, and you can look up the prices for everything. So I checked the prices of the minifigures I have left, and it comes down to about 30 euros. That's already a decent amount of money, but this will blow your mind. If we look at the Avengers Tower, it comes with 31 minifigures. The set itself will cost you 500 euros, but the minifigures are worth over 250 euros. So I think it can be very much worth it to sell your minifigures, or at least the ones you're not using. If you're into building MOCs, you might just want to get individual parts instead of whole sets. Chances are you'll end up paying a bunch of money for parts that are in the set, but that you don't actually need. On Bricklink, you can find any part you need and buy, for example, 100 1x2 masonry bricks. But Bricklink is not the only place you can buy single parts. You can actually buy them directly from LEGO as well. You can either do that through their website or in the physical stores. The pick-a-brick walls at the stores are a lot cheaper because you can buy a box for a fixed price and you can fill it up with as many parts as you can fit in it. Take this box of 1x2 masonry bricks for example. I took some time to fill it up nicely instead of just dumping everything in. And because of that, I fit a total of 732 parts into this €20 box. I compared this to both Bricklink and the Pick-a-Brick feature on the LEGO website. Bricklink came out to €44 at 6 cents per part. The LEGO website sells these for 13 cents per part. If you do the math, that comes out to about €95. So the Pick-a-Brick wall in the LEGO store is a lot cheaper. But the downside of the pad wall is that you don't really know if and when a part that you need will be available. In my LEGO city, I use a ton of 2x2 tiles and I've never seen those on the wall. So I usually order them online. The funny thing is though, Bricklink is definitely not the best place to do that. While it's usually a lot more cost effective, some parts are actually cheaper if you just buy them from LEGO directly. Now we're nearing the end of the video, but I want to throw in one more bonus tip for you. I previously made a video about building a LEGO city for free, and that brought in a lot of comments. Some people just straight up said it's not possible, others suggested begging your friends to give you their LEGO. And there were even people who think risking a prison sentence is the way to go. There's a free program called Studio where you can build with digital LEGO. I'm very aware that it's not the same thing as building with actual LEGO, but I think it's a great alternative, especially if you're on a tight budget. Sadly, LEGO is and will probably always be quite expensive. But if this video managed to get you a couple of new sets and keep some money in your pockets while doing so, you might want some inspiration on a custom storage solution. And that's exactly what I built in this video.